Hey everybody, Brian Hunt here with you for another video. In this one, I am talking about why you should be hiring people that are better than you and people that have more experience than you on your production jobs. So what do I mean by hiring and working with people that are better than you? So what this really comes down to is making sure that we're trying to leave our egos away and doing the best work we can, but also being able to learn from other people. So there is certain people in the production world that are great at certain things. There's certain shooters that are just really good shooters at different styles. And there's some people that are really great at some things and some people that are not as great at some things. And it doesn't mean that yourself are not great or you're not good at what you do. But when you can utilize these other people and work with them, then you can get yourself to be better and make better productions. So let me give you a bit of a scenario here. Myself, my schooling is actually more in post-production. I have a postgraduate degree in post-production and I majored in film editing and minored in effects. Now I work very little now as an editor. I have an editor that works with me full time. I have somebody else that edits with me or edits for me or with the production work that I'm doing. And I'm more out actually doing film and production work or producing things than actually doing the post-production work. So I'm not in that world as much anymore. And I don't do enough of that work in the sense of actually physically day in, day out, sitting on the computer, just doing that work. So in a scenario where I get asked or I need to be doing some animation, I would hire somebody else out to do that animation for me. And one, because not just having the time for that, but I also want to have somebody that is much better at it than me, that is more experienced in it, and somebody who works in that all the time. And that's why you would go and work with somebody like that. And that makes sense to a lot of people. Okay, yeah, you would hire somebody who specializes in this to do this and to help you in that end. Where I think a lot of people in the production world, sometimes in the beginning, sometimes even later on, get a bit weary about some things or worried about things is when you're working on production, when actually doing stuff, is bringing out somebody that you know has way more experience than you, that is, likely maybe better than you in certain scenarios. But why you should be bringing them out is because it's going to help you so much and you're going to learn from them. So again, another scenario, myself, the type of style of work that I typically do is more documentary style shooting. So where it's a lot of run and gun, small crew, gathering things. And I've got accustomed to that and I've got decent at that. And I have a good handle on that and how to capture things and what needs to be captured, creating branded content that way, creating documentaries, films that way. I have understanding of that. Where I have less experience and less time in is in a studio environment. So in a full studio environment, if I wanted to go in there and I was hired to light a car and we were shooting a car commercial or whatever in a studio, if it's a big studio setup, I would hire somebody else, if this was my job, as the director of photography. And myself, even though I work as a director of photography all the time, I would not feel bad doing that. I would know that other person is going to be able to come in and has that experience. And some of this person, he might not be able to do the same things, or she might not be able to do the same things I do because they don't have that experience in other lines of work. And vice versa, we might be able to work with each other on those different projects because of these experiences. But people should not be scared to bring somebody in who's better than them. That makes them, it actually can make you look good to a client when you have somebody in there that knows how to do all these things. And it's going to relieve a lot of stress from you when you have somebody in there that is that expert, that knows those things, that can just without, really taking a beat, they can say, oh, you need this light here, you need this here, you need this there. And it would be probably 90% right. Myself, I might be able to get to that thing. I'm sure I can get to that thing. It's going to take me a lot more time because I'm going to have to do a lot more experimenting and I'm not as sure of myself because of just the lack of experience that way. So having somebody that's better than you is a great thing to have on set and a great thing to hire. And we should not feel like it is somehow bringing us down. So it's trying to let our egos go that way knowing that we can learn from anybody and experiences that they have. I have another good friend of mine who's a colleague, and he has shot a ton of reality TV, and he is other TV show stuff, and he's been in the production world for a long time. I love bringing him out for jobs like that. In this kind of scenarios of shooting, he done so much of it. He knows how to cover things. He knows how to do things. And it's not that I'm worried about him showing me up or anything like that. It's that we can work together and he can show me and I can, it's almost just changing your perspective of how you're thinking about doing that with somebody. It's not thinking, okay, I'm, being made look bad, or it's just thinking I am learning and I'm progressing. And if you're delivering a great thing to the client, it doesn't really matter who it is, okay? It doesn't matter if the person is amazing at that. And I think for myself, it's great if somebody notices that, say like, that person's amazing at what they do. Yep, that's why we brought them out. They're also hiring you, especially if you're getting hired to do the full production, if you're kind of the producer or your company is doing the work. Having somebody out there that knows these things, that is experienced in those ways, really just ensures to those clients that they hired the right company, because they making sure they bring in the right people on that are the top people to do those jobs. Because sometimes those people we're hiring out might have a day rate that is more than we wanted to spend, or it's kind of cutting into the rate that we would be making. But I have found that a lot of times it's worthwhile to take that cut on the money profits that you're going to be making to have the right people there than it is to keep that there and try to make that extra money. But again, you're going to cause yourself extra stress and other things. And eventually you are going to learn from those people. So maybe later down the road, you're not going to need to hire them as much. Now, I've kind of had this scenario happen for me, maybe to not so much for the sound guys that aren't liking that as much, but there's a lot of jobs where I bring out sound guys a lot for, and I've kind of learned through watching them and seeing what they're doing over the years and the tools that they're using, how to do a lot of that stuff myself, and got comfortable enough doing that where I don't need to bring a sound person out all the time. I definitely do, and I think sound people are very valuable, so please, any sound people out there, do not get mad at me. But in certain applications, certain productions, it makes sense for me to be doing my own sound. And it's really helped bringing those professionals on, seeing how they work and knowing what they're doing and seeing the tools they're doing and asking them for advice. A lot of them are friends of mine and they're okay with me. They know that budgets and things are different for different productions. That, I say, hey, what would you use for this? And they're happy to give me that thing, knowing that I am going to hire them out again for other things. It's not a way just to get better at stuff and to not hire out people. It again is just to better yourself and to do, more importantly, the best job you can do and deliver the best product that you can do, because that's really going to make the difference and really going to help you in the long run, business-wise, referral-wise, all those things. So guys, let me know in the comments below, is there scenarios where you hire out people that are better than you? Is there your thoughts on this? Do you not like doing this? Are you worried about doing these things? Let me know those things that you've done that have really helped you and got your career better. I'm going to try to do some more content around this for YouTube. I think this is something that there's not that much out there on. There's a lot of stuff on camera reviews. There's a lot of stuff on, how to shoot B-roll. But how do we just kind of, in the production world, how do we work together? How do we make our productions better? How do we help each other? So thanks so much, guys. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please think of subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one.